Well, it is true. I recall when Carnegie Mellon was known as Carnegie Tech, and I remember going to Ford's Field to see the Pirates baseball, the Buccos. I never really got used to calling them Pirates. I'm not really of the generation that was druggy. Gyrationist, Robert Brooke. He was 23 when I was 9. His band was Afterbeats. So the Cosmetonic Warriors released a normalization of their opium war against the United States. It was capping on an 8 or 6, 7 year old, saying he got to do it too, beating his brains and torturing, dragging him around through glass. Wasn't pushes, they used neurological warfare on it. So, see, it's a done deal when it comes to the cosmetosis warriors. Warriors, they can get away with calling me paranoid schizophrenic, even though they implanted a nerve agent. Because when Goto Medora uses Fiddle DD showed up in 1994 when I opened the Black Blood letter. Uh, I heard ultra high up in the sky, so they made me a hybrid. Now, if you don't believe that they can do that, the Beatles were brainwashers who were interested in non-specifications of Sony Super Troll to brainwave people. They're puppets, they call them. While vying for control of the ladies out of the Carousel Club and Social Imbecile after killing JFK is an example to the goodness of the Axis resurgence. You don't believe it. They used AI, artificial intelligence, hybrid station to command Attenborough's Little Girl project. Now, I defend Greta to the end of the earth. She's a wonderful girl. She doesn't deserve this, but these people use little ones. They've done it before. They called their whole thing Little Girl. Even the killing of JFK was called Little Girl. Um, they can call me Penrith Smack right off the bat. It's a done deal, right? They got this dude named Edward. In this English, she says, I'm going to start getting nasty. And Elizabeth Penn Rotten, Billy Rogers' score, he was part of the Billy Club. We're all faster than me, Billy Club. Get it? Billy Flynn, Billy Beck, and Billy Rod. And Elizabeth Blumenfeld and Gellamini, the Blumenminis, right? And Tiffany, who was working with Milton Schaap, showed up on my father's last book, George Leader. So, get this Wonderbar pretzel. The sacrifice that was being made to the new way. I pick up this book about the state construction of Japaneseness. I'm reading it and it says, the stain on the Koseki registration is like a child out of wedlock. And sure enough, Nabucco and her stupid Gail Burstyn had something about you blotted your copybook. So Misako Shiono was violent, breaking her high string, the Fulton School graduation, the way Tanglewood did. Uh, Testing the cause of family matters. in the reconstructed axis. And I come across the spelling of envelope because in 1994 I opened the Blackboard envelope and they said that's proof that you're trying to steal the stolen legacy because they had stolen the legacy of Kennedy with the Texas school book. And they mailed me a letter. And when I opened it, I was stealing the divine Ringo Starr presidency from the post office of Licky Chop's post office. Sure enough, I turned on and somewhat alarmed because they castrated me, envelope. And says Barbara Hartley is an honorary senior lecturer at the University of Queensland. Um, I have something to say in defense of the good people of Chinatown, the beautiful people. And fuck you if you think that they're not. I'm sorry for being reckless with Chinatown sensibilities. I'm sorry. I take that back. I know they would want me to say something diplomatic, but in my humble opinion, somebody in municipal identified International District on the map and pointed it out to Del Constein. He said, "Oh, is that where it is? Let's put a homeless shelter there." But they have to deal with all this hanky panky. I wrote this here. Keeping things mysterious and then blaming people for not understanding is pretty jive. It's a pretty jive thing to do. Oh. There's a lot of unanswered questions going on. And I ask questions. People live with not asking these questions. Um, the fourth dimensional theory of the early 20th century gave rise to the super story, the idea that John Lennon is God after he steps out and they bring in this fourth dimension puppet show. The old leapfrog oligarchs, when you add that in, Manafort and Putin, the Trumpy tune Putinese money. It's doing a European downsizing job. Cahooters. Mount Sue man behind the curtain stuff. I mean, you can simplify it into doggerel. I know they love to mystify. Oh, they're running around. Divine intellect, you know the truth, they can sense the truth, virginity, proves right, and there's soon to be another ice age. That's what these divine mysterians was on, and they were just saying they were hollering. You want to find out going on, it was a fake. He was off. He went, he was back away with a ha 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 ha. Look what we got them to believe. A super show, just what you would expect from people who pumped in Dan Rather saying JFK's head goes violently forward. He said that his first day on the job. That's what people rather believe. Would they rather believe it? Question why this question is being asked because in Ukraine they've established a narrative that's Trumpy tunes language. They have an attending mystery about Donbass. The green and the red can't get over. Their job description is to tell what is it's straightforward on the subject of the mystery of Donbass. And so you say, oh, now you're wise, man, you're a wise beard. Like that charms you. But they don't come into what really the issue are, which is the business about AIDS. I'm an American exception. I'm an exceptional American. They tortured me, they brain damaged me, they made me go and they humiliated me because they were after American exceptionalism. They made no secret of it. And they hate me for it. It's given that they're going to hate me for it. But journalism and the principles of the American Library Association shall never fall. The gutter snipes will fall. So the real question is, why aren't they asking the questions? And of course, it's standard when it comes to people going along and bowing their heads and saying we better not struggle against things that we know are questionable. And it's question mark, the taboo line. The red and the green have all the answers for you. You can go tune in the answer of the day if you want to know the real truth. This taboo line. Does it them people who are under social control, as Chomsky alleges? Or is it complicity? It's easier if you think myself, oh, I'm under social control. I wish I wasn't. And if you say, oh, I was thinking, especially about what's going on, I think I have exemplary realism in my character. Exemplary realism was a hot item during the Blitz in England, but when you yank it out of context, it's less honorable. Like journalism shaming of war, like you look at Murphy Gowan, the totalitarians was bad news, and everybody knew it, so it was easy to get into journalism because you had a side to cheer for. The American Armed Forces, hell yeah, in World War II, they were the right people. I don't want to hear about, oh, segregation proved they were just as bad. Nuh-uh. So when it came to my old friend Martha Gellhorn, she wrote me once. She really did. She was the only person who had the courage to address the issue with me directly of AIDS being attacked. Not one, she wasn't in America anymore and refused to come home because of the ravenousness of the Kennedy assassination, as she put it. But she wrote me. I loved her. She was in the White House with Eleanor Roosevelt. I have the distinction of having had a kissy kiss with her when she was in her 80s. She wrote to me from Belize on a manual typewriter. And she was courageous. She directly said, are you suggesting that Ronald Reagan started AIDS deliberately? How's that? Courage. So she would know today if she were with us why I find that I was warning people already before they pulled this happening of Euro downsizing, all clogged to the fossil fuels climate change ultimatum. Gee haw, wimmy diddle. The lose from the Old Testament Lord on high. Well, things changed, and she noted it. These days when America took up with the Axis in Vietnam, now more shaming included shaming the Americans. Got more complicated. So we have these leapfrogs playing both sides, Putin's friends fomenting the revolt against Putin. What's going on? They got themselves a parameter, is what they got. And they're going to, without addressing any reality except the blood curdling, crying shame and horror of what is being done to the Ukrainian people, without any reason or justice. Hack together themselves in a little neo-NATO with an unauthorized alliance that's mysterious in the play our ignorance about those mysteries to our disadvantage. I'll say it again. keeping things mysterious and then blaming people for being ignorant about those matters is a job thing to do. And say something else again. Journalism and principles of the American Library Association shall never be defeated.